Our thoughts and feelings are our own and are not representative of Electronic Arts as a whole or anyone else.
Once again, it's time for the Team Lift podcast with your hosts, Brandon Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Let's go ahead and get right into the show. All right, everybody, man, thank y'all for tuning in to today's episode. Man, been a while since we've been in. Got my boy over here to the right of me. Brandon, what's going on, buddy?
Nothing much.
Man, tired.
Yeah, it's been a long couple of weeks.
All right, also, some congratulations are in order for you.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. You're not even. I'm bringing it out. So, man, we weren't here. We didn't do a show last weekend. Yeah. I was personally dying in bed, seriously having fever dreams because, as you guys know, we went out to San Japan and we went and did the San Japan Anime Festival. Had a great time. Brought Reed and Zane and the guys out. We hooked up with a lot of great people and got some big interviews that we're going to be dropping on the YouTube channel. I came back.
Had the con crud.
Oh, I had the con crud. Man, I swear to God, I felt like that monkey in Outbreak. I thought I was dying.
I'm glad I stayed away from you.
Yeah, no, everybody did. You knew when I called in, like they sent me home from work. That's how bad it was. And I was like, okay, it's terrible. And
it's that bad.
I'm having fever dreams at my desk and I'm awake. So I had to go. But while I was dying, you chose to die a different way.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Brandon is now an engaged man. Congratulations, brother. Yeah, you just that smile. That's all. Nobody even sees that you're smiling because that's the thing. You never smile.
No, see, that's the thing is nobody should know this. We got to keep this secret.
No, bro, you smiled and I saw it. Okay. No, man, congratulations on that, man. So, any date set or is it just tentative?
We're working on it.
Working on it.
Hopefully, probably before the end of the year, though.
So we're not going to be dragging your feet on this. No, not a long engagement.
Yeah.
You know that's my book. I believe in the long engagement. I would still be engaged to my wife, and we have 7 kids together. If I could have pushed it further, I would have.
You're trying to get back to the engagement stage at this point, I think.
Yeah, man, that's all I like, the engagement stage. I was good at the engagement stage. I'm not good at the husband stage. There's stuff to do. And I don't like stuff to do. That's too much work. But yeah, let's keep it moving. We got guests on the show this day. Man, and this one, as a vet, really honored to have our next 2 guests are going to be on here with us. We have been trying to work on this for a while. Great friend of the show, Jeremy Withrow, has been trying to orchestrate this thing, and it looked like the stars aligned. I was home. Basically, the beauty of being home working on stuff, and trying to get over this. Jeremy reached out to me, set up basically a messenger group message, and we got our guest, and we got to talking, and he has a fascinating story, and I could not wait to bring him on. And so tonight, man, it's my honor. We're going to be bringing him in from Warrior Gaming League. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Steven Giddings. What's up, Steven?
What's up, guys? Definitely, I just want to start off by saying it's truly a pleasure to be on this show. Like I told you guys earlier, man, like you paved the success for me today. I do amazing things due to the fact of people like you, Jeremy Withrow, and all my amazing supporters out there. So, guys, thanks again for having me.
Hey, man, no, pleasure is all mine. Also, you have a guest with you. Is Juliet Hubbard?
Roger that. She's my new COO. She's a very strong advocate about sexual abuse in our military, as well as my story about, how the healing powers of video games saved my life.
Well, man, let's get into this, man, because you and I have we had a brief talk about this, and I really just want to go tell people, what is Warrior Gaming League? How would you describe it to everyone?
I would describe it as it's the first ever military league specifically for veterans active duty, and their families and dependents. Say if you have your grandfather and his grandchildren serve, those people are also entitled into this league. It's a video game league. We definitely want to have this as an approach to reach all our veterans all around the world. Specifically this for them as a whole. Due to my fact being in Iraq, video games changed us. It built so much, and coming back to doing this and being injured, I just saw so much potential and a niche in the market that wasn't out there.
Yeah, and that's great because let's talk about this, man. When you were injured, can we talk about how you were injured?
Yeah, most definitely. I was on my second deployment to Iraq when I was facing. I think it was either Route Bug. I'm not really Chevy. I'm not sure which one but I was in a huge tower, not tower, we'll say a mall facing out. And all of a sudden, like I heard a pop and I dropped, and my buddy Hill was next to me and I couldn't move. I was like, man, what the hell's going on, bud? And then like, in movies, how you see like the blood come out and like, it's all right. But then once you see it start running out your mouth and like, then things get really crazy. So I immediately looked to him. I was like, hey, bro, just tell my wife and my family I truly love them, and I think this is it. To where like I had medics like coming up to me with Dr. Newton, amazing supporting and ripping off my body armor and immediately getting me downstairs because the sniper was probably about, I'd say it was up in about a 7-story mall, and he was facing out the highway, and he shot me through the back of the car with the Dragunov 7.62. So things got real after that, and pretty much my life changed for the worst and also for the best.
Wow, man, brother. That's a harrowing story, and that's a true story for a lot of our brethren that are still serving and have served.
Most definitely. After I came back home, my buddy Hill, I guess, I don't know how he found it, but he scoured the internet and he found the video of them recording me and taking the shots. And watching that personally from me sitting back, I was like, wow. I was like, how could people do this? But, we love our country, America, and I stand proudly to support it and defend it.
Yeah, man. And so you talked to me. I was on board to Tripoli when it hit the mine during Desert Storm. And thank God we lost no lives, but it's 4:30 in the morning. It's pitch black out at sea. They had already started setting the oil wells on fire, so there was no moonlight, no stars. And we hit a 300-pound explosive that blew a 32 by 26 hole in the side of our ship. And
man, I can only imagine the damage.
Oh, yeah. Lost no lives. That was the thing that we always tell people that. And we were like, had it hit 5 feet back, just 5 more feet, had we went 5 feet forward more and it hit, it would have blown up into the JP5 fuel pumps.
Oh, my gosh.
But it blew 5 feet forward into an empty bulk room. And we were actually able to stop the flooding. We took on water. We dead sticked our way back into dry dock like that. And
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
That extent, man, like it's just like nobody got injured. That is just like truly, truly amazing.
Oh yeah, no, man, it was, and the thing was that you and I were talking about this, and people asked me about it. Was I couldn't sleep. Like you couldn't take your shoes off and just drop them on the floor because I'd wake up out of a dead sleep, freaking out, heart rate running, and I'm sweating. Just because I heard that explosion. And when I came back, they didn't really have a name. They didn't call it post-traumatic stress disorder. They just said, hey, man, shake it off. Get over it.
Drink water, drive on, right?
Yeah, that was it. Like, I was like, what? It did. I was like, that's how we handle that? And people don't get that. Like, when you go through these experiences, they don't get it changes you as a person. And
it doesn't just change you as a person. It changes your life. It changes your outlook. It changes everything. I was 17. I went to basic training 18 on my 18th birthday. Boom, immediately I was in Iraq, and just being 18 years old, fighting for your country and dealing with what we did. We lost a lot of people our first deployment. We were in Mahmudiyah, Yusufia, Fallujah, Abu Ghraib prison when we released them. We were in the stuff, where things really got bad. And as soon as I came home, and my wife started noticing the differences and the changes, and like how like being blown up or seeing people die affected you. To my second deployment, and then being injured, it was way worse. It was, man, I can't even express how bad it was going through all this struggles and being injured and PTSD and TBI and brachial plexus nerve damage, and it just became so much where my life was changed for the best, but also it was for the worst because I miss who I used to be.
Oh yeah, no, you definitely do. You actually, it's like everybody says, those BCAD moments. You can basically look at the date on the calendar and say, that's the day. This day, that part of me was lost. This day, this part of my innocence was lost.
And the crazy thing about us is like these injuries, it's like I can never forget the day that happened. Like I cannot forget that day to this day. I have a huge hole in my back and all the chronic pain that I deal with on my chest and arms. But, it's crazy. I can't remember what happened in high school anymore or leading up to high school. But damn it, that day, it marks me for the rest of my life.
Oh, no, I 100% get. I'm 46 years old, man, and I was I went right in at 18, and I can still tell you at 46. I got out in 95. I still wake up around 4:32, 4:34 in the morning sometimes to go to the restroom. Like wake up out of a dead sleep and just go,
Yep.
well, I'm up. Might as well go to the restroom. And then,
No, you're right, man. Like, there's most nights that I don't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, it's either me getting shot or losing buddies, bombs being blown up. It definitely sucks. I got severe insomnia, and sleeping's like the scariest thing in the world.
oh, yeah, man, look, I ended up with sleep apnea, and I told everything, best thing that ever happened to me is when they gave me that machine, because it forces the air in and it forces me to sleep. And I didn't even know what a good night rest was, man, until I put that machine on, and I was like, oh, that's what that's supposed to feel like.
It was like, oh, hell yeah. With me, the sleep apnea machine wasn't working because I sleep on my stomach and I toss and turn. So I ripped the mask off to where they started giving me these little nasal things in my nose, which is actually pretty cool because it does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not like or like trying to like wipe it off my face or like constantly tossing and turning with this hose. And so definitely, having that to help us is a big, huge benefit to help us sleep.
Oh, yeah. No, man. I really appreciate you sharing that story with us. Juliet, now, when did you serve? What years did you, what were the time you were serving?
Well, actually, I joined in 2002, and I did get out early when I got pregnant with my daughter. My husband at the time had just gotten back from his, or was just getting back from his third tour. He was in the Marines and was also not in a very good place. And we had a 6-month-old daughter at the time. And so I chose to go ahead and use the Family Leave Act. So I just did 3 years and then went ahead and separated to be at home to support him.
Oh, yeah. No. And people don't look. Not all heroes wear capes, but what you were doing there, you definitely were doing the hero route because you were trying to be a soldier and a mom. That's people. I don't think people understand how hard you were doing the juggling act that a lot of people can't do or understand.
Yeah, it was very difficult. Everybody actually thought I was going to be a lifer, that I was going to retire from the military from the age of 6. I knew that I was going to serve. My dad did 23 years. The military was my life. And so it was a big decision for me to choose to separate and not stay in. But I'd make the same decision today. So. Oh,
yeah. Awesome. Now, do you want to talk about your story and how you came into this? Or you don't have to, but we only want to talk about what you're comfortable with.
No, I'm definitely comfortable sharing my story. That's one of the main reasons why I enjoy doing what I do, is hopefully to inspire somebody else and help them in their decisions. Mm-hmm. So my story, I joined the Air Force, and the night before I was supposed to leave, of course, most people who've been in know you go down, you do a bunch of paperwork, you do your swearing in, there's some like physicals, and then they put you up in a hotel and you just kind of chill there until you leave the next morning for basic. And a lot of people were just like having a big party, a blast, they last night of freedom, before you go get reamed. And I was a pretty innocent kid. I kept to myself. I was very shy, very quiet. And so basically, I was in the hotel. I was trying to get some sleep. People were coming, going, just enjoying themselves. And somebody ended up coming into my room. My roommate had left the door unlocked, so she didn't have to carry around her key. And I woke up to someone raping me. He had put the pillow over my face, of course, told me not to scream, not to fight. It was definitely terrifying. I honestly believed he was going to kill me. I couldn't breathe. After trying to struggle, of course, I figured out that wasn't going to get me anywhere. And once I stopped fighting, he kind of eased up so I could breathe. And I don't remember a lot, once he left the room. I remember every single detail of it happening, but then there's a short moment of just kind of fog. But after that, I always like to tell this part because it meant so much to me at the time. And, here we are, 15 years later, and it still has stuck with me. But I remember not wanting to be alone, but not wanting to be with anybody, around anybody. And so I left the room to go down to a common area. And we had some Marine guards. And one of them could tell that something was off with me. I was tearful, and, I just pulled up to a corner of the room by myself. And he came over and talked to me, tried to get me to explain what happened. He actually guessed what happened and tried to get me to report it, and said that unless I actually said what happened, they couldn't do anything about it. Like, he couldn't guess. I had to be the one to say it. And at that point, I was so worried that it was going to affect my service. Here I am supposed to be leaving. And one thing I didn't explain is I had actually originally joined with the Marines, and due to a car accident, I couldn't meet their physical fitness standards anymore. And that's why I ended up going into the Air Force. So I'd already been delayed once, and I was ready to go. I wanted to. So I didn't report it. I chose to deal with it and use it to motivate me to, be the best service member ever. Like, I wanted to go. In basic training, I ended up having a miscarriage. I did not know that I was having a miscarriage at the time. It wasn't until later on, when I got to my first base, that I had complications and had to have surgery, that the doctors discovered that's what happened. But then to fast forward, the reason why I like sharing my story and want to share it to help others is because now that I'm out, and I have been diagnosed with PTSD, and of course they are assuming that it started from this event. I never had issues really before then, but I've had to struggle because I didn't report it. Medical things have happened, and surgeries, and dealing with the VA.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just really important. I was just so afraid. And so I kind of want to be that voice now, for others. Like, if they go through this, that like it is okay, and people are going to listen to you, and people are going to be there to help you get over it. And even though it is a terrifying moment, you don't have to be scared. And like I said, there will be people there to, guide you through how to get through it. And that's what I want people to take, from my story is, let's be there to support you, but let's do the right thing and put these people away so they can't hurt more people.
That's so true. And I applaud you and thank you so much for even just sharing that with us, because it seems that now we're starting to address it more, that there is a rape problem in our military, and we just don't talk about it. We men, women, we just the military has always tried to act like it didn't exist. And now I think people are starting to talk about it more, and we are starting to put things in place to get help for the victims. And we are, prosecuting the people. So I thank you for sharing that story, because somebody can hear that and they needed to hear that. So thank you once again. So our big question now with Warrior League Gaming is how are you guys reaching out to people? I mean, how are you getting the word out about you?
So pretty much it's just, my story. GameStop brought me in. First, I went with Operation Supply Drop, and that's where it became my success. From Operation Supply Drop, I started engaging the communities with soldiers, veterans, active duty, all around the world, providing these video game care packages overseas, which is amazing. Definitely love that, their mission right there. Doing that as the executive assistant for years, just volunteering, busting my butt. They had brought me this unit. I forgot what they are. I have to give a claim in, but I think it was 3 cab or somebody. I'll get it. But they asked me if we can go to their welcome home ceremony. And what that is after everybody deploys, you come back and you have this huge ceremony to support the fallen soldiers. You got the CEOs, like you got your CEOs, first arms. They all, everybody putting all their liquor in this juice, and it's just like this brotherhood bonding thing from after deployments. And they asked me and Glenn Bain to go. We got in tuxedos, and we went. And being there, we had soldiers keep coming up to us saying, "Hey, thank you guys. Fuck, this is amazing. What you guys done for me was like, I just can't speak enough about it." They broke glass on the ground, like, for us, they support us. They gave us hugs. And we were like, without this, we wouldn't have it. So then I was like, wow, man, video games have made an impact. After graduating college, I made video games and I just started noticing it. So then from there, after I got out, I started my own esports company, which was Esports Family. And it was a for-profit company. And it was good. I was doing some great things with Razor Arena and, running tournaments, ACC, and some really cool things. So where I was like, man, I woke up every day and I was like, this is not me. This is not driving me. So I was like, let's start my own nonprofit. So I did that, and I had my buddies from GameCon, which is Ari Fox, Ben Fox. They believed in me so much, they saw my mission on Grant Farewell with Maturino, and they bought me on my own nonprofit. To where like things started getting better and better. I'm always out there. I've been with OSU, so my community keeps following me wherever I go because of my passion, my support for our soldiers. I don't take a single dime in this nonprofit because all that money can go to them. Like I am okay with what I have today, but the money that comes in needs to go to them because there's soldiers that are struggling like me to this day. So I'm involving myself in LinkedIn, like content advertising, promotions, going out to the communities, events, like just pushing as hard as I possibly could because there's 22 of our soldiers dying a day, and I don't want them to die anymore without me at least trying to make an impact on their lives. After losing so many soldiers through my deployments, I came to the point where like this shit has got to stop. And I told myself after all this, I was like, I will stop 22. I will, pushing so hard and making sure people understand the mission and the drive and who I am, and believing in me is what sets everything up for success. Just like Juliet, she's been with me since 7 years, and seeing the active the engagement that I have with the community, I push so hard, man, like so hard. Through my recent divorce 12 months ago, we got separated. And I just became so more invested in supporting soldiers and watching the smiles and I want them to live, laugh, and love again, because one of the hardest things that I've ever done was transition out being an injured soldier, where the world looks at us completely different. And my goal is to persuade these people like, hey, what we're doing is an amazing cause. I know there's other nonprofits out there that, don't hold up illegally and morally correct. But with us, it's different. You believe in me. So, doing these events, going out in public speaking and engaging and, watching people just believe in my mission, it just got so big, man, just to where like these people are reaching out to me and they're like, dude, like, I love your story. What can I do to help? How can I get involved? Like after GameStop doing that video on me and like they sent me to Las Vegas for the GameStop convention, like, man, shit just got crazy, and it's just been a blessing to be here, struggling the way I struggle, but I believe God wants me to deal with all this pain because I can do it. I can hold my backpack and all their tears and pain. And I managed my goal to stop 22 of our soldiers, provide the healing power of video games, or have this outlet of soldiers where they can take a list of transitional materials or like different guides or journeys to help them transition better than I did. Juliet was one of those stories where, it's an issue in the military, and we already know that. And, it's time for people to speak up because 80% don't.
Oh, yeah, no. And that's that has probably been one of the things that I think, like, me as a dad and a vet, when my daughter was thinking about going in, that was a fear in the back of my head. And it was like, yes, I shouldn't have that fear. I should not have to have that fear. I love the military. I love my brethren that I served with. It changed my life definitely for the better, even when I take all the crazy stuff that came with it. It made me who I am today, but I still had this fear about my child going in that I shouldn't have had to have.
Most definitely. Like, I'm scared to death of my kids, like, especially with my daughter. But it's today you paved the success for me today and many others. Like, definitely it's what you believe in. How, like, I live by a motto: if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And I don't work. I absolutely do not work.
Man, I tell you, you got me hyped because I work. Yeah, I do some work, man. But this here, when we do this podcast, this isn't work. But man, that other job.
It's your passion, it's your love, it's your drive, and like with something behind you. That's why people believe in me. They follow me everywhere I go. join Stack Up, joining Patrick Barthel and the Warrior League they had, like to doing my own thing. People follow me because they believe so hardly in the mission, and they see the passion, the dedication, the drive that I have. And the only thing that I want to do is support vets. Before I die, I want to make an impact in this world. They'll remember Steven Giddings and how he supported vets.
Brother, well, we're sure going to partner up with you on this. So you brought up a great thing. How can people reach out to help you guys?
So we also take donations. Anybody can go to our PayPal. They can send us a message, Facebook. We do that as well. We also take in-kind donations like consoles and equipment because we're running tournaments for the veterans. It's called the Battle of the Branches that we're going to be doing here in Atlantic City, October 27th through the 29th, where all 5 branches come together and compete in Madden 18 for a grand prize of $1,000. Hopefully providing those recruiting stations, getting in all of the military to come out there and hang out and have a good time. So, definitely with that money that we get doesn't go towards me at all. I pay out of pocket for everything, and I love it. Hey, I love it. It's what I do, and that money goes towards just equipment, or goes towards getting us out there so we can make this impact. And the equipment, we just need that so we can start getting more and more tournaments going. Our next steps are to get involved with military installations, doing Battle of the Branches, unit on unit, base on base, VFW, VFW, USO, USO. We're wanting to have this competition because the thing I learned through this esports and going to QuakeCon with one of my buddies, Mel. He's also a veteran. He showed me the experience of esports. I want to shake my talk all the shit in the world. You know how we do it.
Oh yeah.
All that. I want to stand there we don't want to rub my talk all chair force. Crane eaters, all that. And I want to stand up there and be like, bro, you whip my ass. And let's shake hands and the brotherhood and the camaraderie with these tournaments and this competition just makes it freaking amazing to see from and playing video games.
Well, I'll tell you this. If you ever set up a FIFA tournament, I'm just going to throw down the challenge right now. Ain't no Marine whooping my ass. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there.
see, and that's what I'm talking about. Marine, ain't no Marine.
Yeah, I'm just letting all my Marine brethren know, if you want this beatdown, I'm giving out the L's this year. You can you choose which version you want it in.
And the reason why I started off these sports talk, I definitely do Madden and all this other stuff. But the reason why I started off with this because, I'm going to let you know, Marines doesn't want to be associated with first-person shooters. And I totally get that. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing better than FIFA. I'm telling you, that was our biggest thing when when the soldiers came back from, I think it was Iraq. And they brought us to that welcome home ceremony. FIFA was their shit. They loved it. They did it all. Most definitely, we want to incorporate those titles where everybody can come have a great time. But my next convention, I'm setting up one. Marines will have Barbie Dreamhouse for about 10 minutes, and let's play some pretty cool stuff. So, so we can loop them in.
Hey, yeah,
they can't play a first-person shooter, so we'll give them Barbie Dreamhouse.
Yeah, you tell them if they want these L's, I'll give them L's in FIFA.
Hopefully, I'll have you in next city, man.
Look, I'm going to have to figure a way to do that, man, because I'm telling you right now, I'm like, hey, I'm giving out. I'll run them to a first-person shooter once I run them off the pitch in FIFA. They're going to be like, nah, I need a first-person shooter so I can pretend I'm shooting that guy that just gave me that L. I'm gonna do it. I'll take that.
And I want to raise the money because it's not I'll pay raise money to these people out there and do something special for them. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at, but, definitely have this in-kind donation or monetary value to help bring soldiers out there. Or even recognize those that were severely injured like myself that are struggling and transitioning because they need it. They need a little bit of lift. And, that's been one of my biggest struggles. And I know it's out there. I just know it is.
But man, when I was in, it's so many moons ago, I went in 89. I left home on the 4th of July, 1989. And all Mr. Patriotic, man, going to serve my country. I'm going to get some money. I just knew I wasn't ready to go to college, and I wanted to travel the world, and I couldn't think of a better way to do it. And it was one of those things, where you go in, and I just remember being in Desert Storm and being over there after we'd hit the mine, and this 6-month deployment now is turned into we don't know when you're going home because the ship has a hole in it and you're now just stuck overseas. And I just remember all those care packages that came in and, getting a Game Boy Advance, those little folding ones, the Game Boy Advance back in the, and you were just like, somebody sent this to me? Like, had no idea who I was, and playing like Castlevania and Metroid, stuff like that. And it was
Hell yeah, the best games in the world, brother.
man, it was so awesome. And you just like, man, this is amazing. Somebody sent this to us. I love it. And just sitting there playing. And then it was just like sharing that with your buddies. And then, when you had all that money piled up and we went to Singapore, I remember back then we were buying, first thing everybody did, they got to Singapore and it was like, I'm buying a 3DO, I'm buying the Neo Geo. We were buying them high dollar systems, man. And I got the Jaguar. And then we were loading them up onto the ship, and we were all like, this is in the barracks. This is what we got now. And so I just remember those days fondly. And even back then, video games were something that you just bonded with your brother in over. It was just such an easy
because
thing.
in the military, we all know about this like higher ranking enlisted, like the fraternization, and that was the easiest way that I saw, like while I was over there as well, is like me being a private, talking to my sergeant, without being like, without having that fraternization or any of that. We were able to talk, communicate, build, grow. He saw me for who I was as a person, and I saw him the same way. But when it came down to work and like all that, it was respect. And that was the easiest thing that I saw. Fraternization didn't come into play. It's like I could play with even my first sergeant, and he'd talk so much shit and run us in the ground, and but when it came to time to work, boom, we worked, and they all got the respect that they deserved as a higher enlisted.
Yeah, no, when I moved up to E5, man, and some of my buddies were still, E3 and E4, it was that time, it was like they knew who I was, they knew what I was about, and we would all still play together. But, when we hit that, when those uniforms went on and we were on the clock, no petty officer,
Roger, Sergeant.
They knew where we were at.
Roger, Sergeant.
Yeah, they were like, we were all good. Then as soon as time, okay, man, we're off the clock. Hey, you guys coming over? Are we doing this NHL? What's up? I got the Sega Genesis.
Sergeant, though, like I couldn't ever stay away from that. I was like, Roger, Sergeant, like get all pissed. It's like, when the uniform not on, I can't help it, man. Roger, Sergeant. Like the military distills us so much into that.
Yeah, man, I would get it when we be at my house, man, and like my buddies are still doing that to me, and I'd just be like, really, bro? We're not even in the uniform. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to let it go.
And that's what I loved about the military. It's just like that bond. The best times I've ever had in my entire life were in Iraq. I know that's sad to say, but, I shouldn't be having amazing times here in the civilian life, but it's not like that, man. I'd look back and I'd see so much fun, so much brotherhood, stirring shit because I get in trouble. Like, I just saw so much bonding and building that, like, I wish everybody in America could have that feeling because, I loved standing beside them. They were brothers. They were family. I loved everyone.
See, and I'll tell you a thing. I still got buddies now, like I say, that we're all still pretty close. We're all turning into old men now. But the thing is,
I thought you were 27.
Man, heck, I wish. Yeah, man.
I thought you were pushing young 27.
Woo, man, I can't even run after a 27 no more. Yeah, I'll tell you, with these guys, even when the election, I always tell everybody that in America, there were 2 times where I really felt like this honor and a pride where it was just like it was over. It almost took me over. I remember when I first came back from the military, and I just came back from overseas, it wasn't that I was black. It wasn't that I was from the South. People just saw that I was a vet who had just came back from combat, and they treated you a certain way. And it just transcended the moment. It transcended all the petty things we divide over. The other time that happened was after 9/11. And I said, that's sad that 2 of the most traumatic experiences in my life were the ones where we transcend the things that we divide over. And during the election, friends of mine, there were some that were, no, I'm a lifelong Republican. I'm a lifelong Democrat. They both chose up different sides. Things got ugly on social media. But those guys that I served with, we were the only ones that were still able to talk about it and say, look, I may not agree with you. I may not see eye to eye with you. You're still going to be my brother at the end of the day. And those were the only people who I know that during the election, I didn't see the fights. We all just kind of respected each other. We were like, look, I know what you fought for, and I ain't got to agree with you. choose
Most
what you want.
definitely. You know, when I came back, like, you know, I've been being with OSG and doing what I'm doing and how I push, you know, I've been like told like there's few companies that told me if I was going to provide these video games, turn around and sell them and, you know, go after and kill people. And I'm just like, I've been told left and right, you know, nonstop about like how bad it was and like baby killings and stuff like that. You know, when I came back, I didn't see any of that. Like the flag meant so much more. Every time I see it fly, like it moves, like I get goosebumps because like that is my life. I shed blood for our country for that, and it changed when I got shot and when I came home. Like for like crazy, you have no idea. Like I saw the people, like how all this world just holds their head down and like on a phone, and they don't see what life really is, and it drives me nuts. Where like I feel like I'm an alien, and I don't know really. You know, I'm maybe struggling with who I am, but I can't stray away from the DNA that's made me who I am today. And that flag and my brothers and you guys support veterans, civilian supporters, like video games. It's just been truly amazing. Awesome.
Well, I'm going to ask you guys a tough question. Juliet, I'm going to start with you, and it's going to be a tough one.
Okay.
It's recently we've seen a lot of stuff with sports stars that, you know, taking a knee during the national anthem. I know I have an opinion on it. It's probably going to be different than everybody else's. What's your opinion on it? Do you have one?
You know, when it first started being talked about, I was actually pretty, and I really hate using the word offended, but it fits best here. So I kind of felt like, you know, dang it, there's people who have been out there. There are people who have fought and bled and died, you know. So I feel like everybody should, you know, stand and respect and honor our country. But the more I've talked to people, the more I've thought about it, we've fought, we've bled, we've died for their right to make that decision. Whether I agree with their decision or not, that's how it is. You know, this is the land of the free. This is, you get to choose what's best for you. We don't force it on you. Now, of course, I still have that very strong opinion. I am as American as it can get, and I have to bite my tongue, but I try to respect their decision.
Oddly enough, you and I are on the same page. Yeah, we fought for them. They got that right. I don't
She's
have
so
to
much
agree
sweeter
with
than I will be. She is so much sweeter, guys. I'm sorry, she is sweet as me. Go ahead.
Steven, you're like, no, fam, you got to stay in with me.
Like there's this poem that I would love to read you guys, and like this is like I'm like Juliet. Hey, I'm proud to be with you. I'm proud to be beside you. I don't work above you or below you. You know that. I work beside you, and you know definitely I agree with you 100. Well, I agree with where you're going, but you know it's different for me, and I hope you don't get mad. You know, I don't want you to kind of like send me like a message like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat you up" or something.
Well, no, I would still love to key their vehicle, you know, as I walk past.
All right, see, there she is. All right, never mind. Take it off.
Ooh, that Juliet's a hot fire, boy.
I didn't go that route. See, I'm gonna win all that. Like that yeah, no.
Ooh, that Juliet.
No, but if you guys wouldn't mind, you know,
yeah, no, go ahead.
It really inspires my life. You know, it's called "Thank You, Soldier." Have you stopped to thank a veteran today for the price of freedom that they had to pay? Did you gaze into those distant eyes? Did you see the ghosts he can't deny? Did you think a soldier's heart was made of steel because he was trained to kill? He couldn't feel. Did you see the guilt written on his face for the loss of life he can't replace? Do you know he mourns the lives he couldn't save and walks with comrades in their grave? Do you remember the boy with innocent loss? Do you really know war's ultimate cost? Have you felt the blast of artillery fire? Do you have the courage it would require? Have you stood in the trenches, consumed with fear? Sorry, guys. Felt the enemy's breath so very near? Have you walked with God on the battlefield, seen your brothers dead or dying all around? Have you stopped to think of that today, or did you just turn and walk away? from the pain he'll carry for the rest of his life? Did you consider his family, his children, his wife? As he's haunted by memories that don't go away, did you care that the soldier is still pulling guard? That his heart, mind, and soul will forever be scarred? Do you know how he suffered from PTSD, or that our precious freedom is never free? Do you care that he still hears the blood-curdling screams, or that he returns to the war each night in his dreams? Have you felt the sorrow of a combat vet, or would you rather just forget that war has pierced his hardened heart and torn this soldier all apart? Would you rather our heroes just fade away, or will you stop and think a bit today?
Wow.
So when you say that, that really gets to me, because like I've shed blood for my country. I Purple Heart. I've watched friends die, and I believe that everybody, you're here because of us. It's because of us that we are free. And I definitely respect everybody's opinions, but with mine, it's like I've seen it firsthand, and I've shed the blood, and I believe that everybody should serve at least 3 years, or at least understand that what we do is serious. And today, veterans need to be thanked just a little bit more, because if it wasn't for us, they wouldn't be free.
Oh no, 100% agree with, and I can't deny that position. I got put on the spot because I do the podcast, and I am out, and so Juliet, you and I are pretty much on that thing. I said when I went in, I fought for everybody's right. It was like I didn't get to choose. Even the guy that's right now that's out there burning a cross in a Klan's hood, I fought for his right to be able to do that. So I can't pick and choose whose rights I fought for. So it's at that point where I may not agree with what you say, but you got a right to say it. Now, the thing is, as long as they don't come in my house with that bullshit.
Exactly.
Look.
I agree.
You come in my house with it, we gonna have a different conversation. But as long as you respect my house, you don't gotta stay in. You can sit at your house. You take all the knees you want at your house, but you walk through them at 1907. You come through that door. Come on now.
I wish, I'm just such an asshole when it comes to this subject, because I don't know. Maybe it's too much. I don't know, but I feel that everybody should just believe in what we believe in.
Oh,
but it's not like easy.
Oh no, man! I can tell you right now it ain't, because I have friends, dear friend of mine, man, that just he's not an advocate of guns or gun ownership, and I told him, look, man, you have that right, but I had to carry that gun so you could have that right to believe that.
Yep.
And so, he and I grew up in Louisiana. I grew up around guns. My dad had them. My grandfathers had them. They hunted. I'm very comfortable around firearms. I've taken the safety courses. My mother is 65 years old, and she's just qualified out at the range. I mean, she was putting all the shots center mass and in the face, and she got her 9mm this year. And she's like, I'm gonna get my concealed carry because people were crazy, and I plan on living till I'm tired of living. And so she went out there, and she went to the range, and she brought this thing home. And I was like, Mom, why did you shoot the target on both sides of the neck, and then one in the throat, and then the rest were like in the testicle area on your first shot? She went,
That's how I shoot.
yeah, but she said, I'm gonna make him bleed out, and then I'm gonna make him, I'm gonna make it where he can't scream for help, and then I'm gonna shoot his dick off if he tried to rape me. And I
knew you were gonna go with that.
I was like, Mom,
you're shooting with her.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, I've never felt so safe with a 65-year-old woman in my whole life, man. But
where my mom at? Come on, I mean,
y'all come for me if you want to, but my mama gonna take care of y'all.
My mama messed this world up, believe me.
Yeah, she brought me in, and she gonna take a couple more of y'all out.
That is the best.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, I tell you, man, I could probably sit here and talk to you guys all night, because we'll go into that vet mode and be telling stories, but I don't want to.
And you're right. I could talk to you guys all night, and definitely.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to partner up with you guys. So what I want you to do, anytime you got big events coming up, I want you to reach out to us, and we'll start sharing them on our Twitter page. we'll start putting them on the podcast when you got events coming up, and we'll push that information out there to our listeners. And we definitely, man, I love what you guys are doing. I love what you're doing to help our brethren and our sisters that are out there doing this and still fighting, and the ones that have come home and they're just trying to get reacclimated to this world. And I just think that's an amazing thing you guys are doing. And so
I appreciate it. Definitely, like I said before, the struggles that I have, like, it was horrible trying to kill myself over and over, like overdosing on pills that they gave me. Like, I went through the worst time of my life for that first year when I was gone. And I do not want another soldier to ever transition the way I did, because I don't know how I did it. I honestly don't know. That's why I said he must just be giving me this gift to put all of it on my back and do it for the rest of them. And that's what I learned is this transition. Like, our boys need us, and video games is that power. By the time I'm done, having Juliet, myself, and other stories like this on how it could be a motorcycle, like a bike that saved their life, or mechanics, or I want these soldiers to take our whole process or our whole program and be like, all right, you know what? I think I want to go Steven's route and see how if video games is my route or my option, or will help me get out of the military and transition better than I thought I would. Definitely. Yeah. My story and my impact is what really drives me and my passion. I don't discourage any nonprofit that takes money back to themselves. Definitely you got to support your family either way. That's why mine separates itself from all those, because I don't need that. My soldiers do. I can make it on my own with what I got.
I hear you, brother. We're definitely going to partner up with you, man. Juliet, Steven, thank you guys so much for coming on this show.
Thank you.
Man, this has been amazing. We're going to have you guys back in the future. In fact, what I'd like to do is, I know you got ACON, the event you were talking about, that's October. That's the Atlantic City one, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. So I was kind of keeping up with you on that one. So
no, it is awesome because I'm going to go out there and talk. It's a casino, huge gaming tournament, independent developers and stuff like that. So they asked me to be on the panel to speak. And when you look at that panel, it's all these top dogs, these huge people, but then you got little old me. And they asked, like, how do you know, like, how does, like, it wasn't about who you knew, it's about how hard you work. And when I'm going to get up there and talk, it's someone in part of the world, because, just little old me is making a huge impact. And you guys can hop aboard and let's support each other together, turning around to do this military tournament, video game tournament, and all veterans are all veterans active duty and their spouses are half off. All wounded soldiers are free. And I really would love to see you guys out there. And for you personally here at Team Live, like, I would love to have you guys aboard, be out there with us, doing some great things, and us bringing the word with you guys together. Definitely would love to have you guys team up with us and conquer the world.
Oh, well, man, I tell you, it would be our pleasure. I'm going to tell you something, though. Next time you got an event here, anything that's in like Austin or San Antonio, you got my number. I went ahead and sent you all my information. You definitely get a hold of me, because I got to come out there and hand out some L's in FIFA. I feel like I got to represent, man.
Well, so Juliet is Camel. She has the information that we need, what they do, and I'm going to hit Fort Hood. So we're definitely going to have hopefully Fort Hood against Fort Campbell, either First Cavalry against 101. I don't know. It's definitely going to be awesome. But I would love to have you personally, since we're right here. I'm in Round Rock, Texas. Definitely we can link up, have some lunch, and go over this and hit some of these places like the VFWs, or definitely getting your guys' name out as well as spreading a good word to support our veterans.
Heck yeah, we'll do it. In fact, you know what? I'm going to tell you something after the show. We'll wait till after. I'm not going to drop this on them on the show yet, but we may have some people we can call on for some favors. We'll see what we can do.
You know that poem that I told you about?
Yeah.
So I wrote this little blurb on how people are supporting veterans, or how people just need to support our military, and it turned out to reach about 14,597 people in 7 days, which is truly amazing. Taking a look at it, it's like these people believe in the word that I'm saying, or believe in the mission to where, like, I looked at it, I was like, whoa, this is insane. 14,000 people. I've already said something.
All right. Well, man, we're gonna try to push another 14,000 to this then. That's our goal.
That'd be amazing.
That's what we're doing. Hey, man, look, I appreciate both of you coming on. Thank you so much. Steven, if people want to connect with you right now, how can they reach out to you?
They can either go to my Facebook page. It's Giddings Steven, or Steven Giddings. You'll see. I also have my public speaking page, which is at giddings.wgl.1. And then I also have our Warrior Gaming League page, which is just Facebook Warrior Gaming League. So we also have a PayPal donation link if you'd like to help out with that, as well as if you guys want to give equipment so we can start continuing bigger and better tournaments for our soldiers, veterans, active duty, and their families, as well as help Juliet provide this new resource, this new program that we're going to stick to, or hopefully make really good to help support those people that are suffering from sexual abuse in our United States.
All right. Yeah, we're definitely. Juliet, what about you? How can people reach out to you?
Same. I have access to those pages also, but they can look me up on Facebook too, and it's Juliet Beth Hubbard. I think it says Jules on the side of it too, which is my nickname. So, and I've got my picture up there.
Okay, perfect. We're going to go ahead. I think we just shared it on our Team Lift fan page. We just shared the. I think we just put that. Yeah, the Warrior Gaming League's out there. All right, and we got you. We got you too. We'll go ahead and share all of this, and we'll get it on our page and get it out to our friends and fans. And I can't thank you guys enough. We're going to have you back in the future if you guys have time. And we'll definitely keep this going, and let's make sure we're taking care of all the brothers and sisters. Most
definitely. I just want to say it's truly a pleasure for me to be on this with you guys. People like you and like other these civilians and everybody out there that support us is what drives me and Juliet to continue doing what we're doing to support the veterans and our military period. Like, definitely I want to thank you, and like for those soldiers or those like civilians out there that don't think that they're serving a greater cause, when you come up to me and say thank you for your service, thank you for what you do, and I stand right next to you, how can I help? You are serving us today. So any civilian out there that thinks that they can't or they don't belong a part of this, or you don't stand up with us, you are serving our service. So don't discourage yourself. Don't look down. Always look up. Watch. We will be there, and we'll continue to be together. Our Twitter site is also at warriorgl _US. They can come reach out there. Definitely, if you're going through any kind of symptoms of PTSD, or you need somebody to talk to, or you're struggling with certain areas, sexual abuse, PTSD, injuries, definitely reach out and let us know. I want to be here. I'll stay up all night with you. We'll play some video games. We'll live, laugh, love, and we're just going to drive you guys in the right direction.
All right. Brother, I appreciate it, man. You guys, thank y'all so much. All right, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Well, the show's coming to an end, everybody. We just want to thank our guest again, Steven Giddings, Beth, Hubbard. Thank you so much. Always, you can jump on our page at Go Team Lift. It's our Twitter page. At the end of the show, we'll give you all of our social media. Connect with us. Get in touch with us. We'll get you in touch with these guys. If you're a vet, you're listening to the show, because we know we have a big following. A lot of you guys that are overseas in Italy, in Japan, that have been listening to the show and supporting us, get a hold of us. We'll get you in touch with them. We love you. All right. So as we say every week, man, it's the end of another show. Brandon, once again, congratulations to you, brother. You're going into a different battlefield. I promise you.
Congrats, brother. Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, he's gonna be a different kind of vet.
Happy wife, bro. Just remember that. Happy wife, happy life.
Hey, yeah, look, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I make sure she stays happy my damn self, just so we can keep the show going. I like that. You don't make her mad. No, Miss Jenny don't get to be mad. Okay, man. You guys take care, and as we always say here on Team Lift, peace. Thanks for listening to the Team Lift podcast with your hosts, Brendan Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Join us again next week as we discuss more topics from geek culture. Be sure to follow us on our Twitter page at Go Team Lift, as well as our personal pages at Coach Silky and at Thighside. You can direct questions or comments to us on our Twitter page, as well as find links to all of our social media outlets. Thank you for listening. See you again next week.